Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev. Today's session was very, very beautiful and profound, and very lot of things, lot of inputs to for contemplation. I will just share the verses once again so we can just quickly run through them. Meanwhile, if anyone wants to present their takeaways, please go ahead. Yeah, we started with Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam Etad Jnanam iti Proktam Ajnanam Yatatonyatha. So always dwelling upon knowledge centered on the self, keeping in view the purpose of knowledge of the truth. That is all this that was told is the means to knowledge. What is opposite to this is ignorance. Jneyam yattat pravakshami yad jnatva amritam ashnate anadi matparam brahma nasattat na saduchyate. Nasat na asat taduchyate. So what is to be known, that I will tell clearly, knowing which one gains deathlessness. That Brahman, which it is said has no beginning, is limitless, neither existent as an object nor non-existent. So this na asat na asat is that it is here in this context, it is to be understood as it is not an object of our knowing. It is not like how we know our body, our senses, the sense organs, the sense objects, the mind, intellect. All this we are able to perceive. So it is not an object of perception. And it is not non-existent. Sarvatah panipadam tat sarvato kshishiro mukham sarvata shruti malloke sarvam mavritya tishtati. This whole thing for me, it is only to kind of pictorially explain that he is sarvagataha, he is everywhere, he is all pervading. The one who has hands and feet, that Neyam Brahma, the one who has hands and feet on all sides, the one who has eyes, heads and mouths and faces on all sides, and the one who has ears on all the sides in the bodies of the people, remains pervading everything. These are all lovely shlokas for contemplation. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrichaiva nirgunam guna bhoktricha. So that Brahman appears as the attributes of all the organs, is free from all the organs, is unattached, and is the sustainer of all, is free from the three qualities, and is the experiencer of the three qualities. Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charame vacha sukshmatvat tat vigneyam durastham chantike chatat. So that which is that Gneyam Brahma is outside and inside of beings. It is that which does not move, and indeed what moves. Because it is subtle, it is not known, and it is far as well as near. As we go from gross to subtle, like the either you take the Panchamahabhutas or uh, air space is subtler than air, and space is all pervading. So this Gneyam Brahma is even beyond space. It is there, that it also includes and encompasses space. Therefore, it is inside, outside of all beings. And it is that does not move, and indeed what moves. Charameva cha. Acharam charameva cha. And sukshmatvat, it is subtle. It is not known, yet it is very near. It is not known is for all those who are very jada, who's very uh, who do not have those qualities of amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, kshantirajyavam. For those who are non-mumukshus, it is very far. Whereas those who are sadhaks and upasakas, for them, it is very near. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, vibhaktamiva cha sthitam, bhuta bhartri cha tadnyeyam, krasishnu prabhavishnu cha. And that is to be known as the one who remains undivided in the beings and who is seemingly divided, who is the sustainer of the beings and elements, and who is the devourer and the creator. He's everything. Here I was reminded of the Spandakarika, where you have the general vibration and the special vibration. So the general vibration runs in and through creation, but it appears as different special vibrations. That is the division, seemingly divided, and is the sustainer of all beings. Just like the ocean seemingly is the creator of the wave, but the ocean runs in and through the element, the substance of the ocean runs in and through the wave. It is as though the wave is created, as though it sustains for a while, and then it comes back again. It becomes laya. So all that seemingly is happening, and it is the ocean that is sustaining the whole thing. And Jyotisham api tajyotihi tamasah paramuchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. The light of lights is said to be beyond ignorance. It is knowledge. It is that which has to be known. It is that which is arrived at by knowledge, and it is present in the minds of all. Here, I particularly, what struck me most was the example that Nana gave. He says, when you're in a room where there is light and the neighboring room does not have light. So, with what are you able to see that there is darkness there? You're able to see darkness. So that the sight behind that, the power that gives you the knowledge that there is darkness, that you're able to see the darkness. That was very subtle and very, um, you know, how do we see that darkness? There should be something beyond that darkness for us to see and experience that darkness. That is to be known. That is the Jnayam Brahma. Yeah, does anyone want to share anything?
There was the shloka somewhere it says he he he's a has it said he's the enjoyer of the three gunas or what
Yeah.
does it say?
Guna Bhoktritva.
Huh. So what about the results of those gunas? Is he bhokta of that also? Like mm, pain, pleasure coming out of that. Is he bhokta of that also? Who is enjoying the result of these gunas or doshas? Is it the Brahman or
See, it is because of that presence that you're able to, there is life even, isn't it? Otherwise, you're just like one dead body, like a log of wood. So that capacity to even enjoy whatever we're enjoying in the world, that is, I think, that Guna Bhoktritva. He's beyond gunas, but it is not like he's stuck to the gunas. He's beyond the gunas, but he is the capacity of which where we are able to even enjoy the gunas. That is why I suppose it is said experiencer of the three qualities. It is not like he's bound by the three qualities. He's free from the three qualities. That is why these opposite things have been given, isn't it?
so when I'm saying I'm having a pain or I am elated or I'm happy,
Hmm.
who is that I or who is that
That is
enjoyer of the pain?
what is the Jnayam Brahma. That is what is to be known. And I guess that is the Kshetrajna. Because if you know what was hitting me most when we were reading all of this, when we are learning all of this, is that explanation that Swamiji gave in yesterday's chapter 12 when we were doing the samsari. 1 second, can everyone mute themselves? Otherwise, there is a lot. Yeah. So, um, the he gave the example of a samsari. The body cannot be a samsari because the body is just jada vastu. It has no life in it. Atma, can the Atma say is the samsari? No, because uh, Atma is all pervading, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. But there is something that is making this jada vastu and the sat vastu come together and creating the samsari. That is that misapprehension. That is the whole Maya, which is kind of conjugating these two, and the samsari is born. And the samsari is the one who says, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the experiencer. So that in order for us to say that I'm enjoying, I'm seeing, I'm talking, I'm reading, I'm understanding, that I behind all of this, that is the guna bhoktritva, the guna bhoktra. But apparently, it is only apparent, it is not actual. No. All this is the play of Maya.
Feel we are The experiencer of the three qualities does not mean he is the enjoyer. Earlier it is written asaktam, unattached. Like yesterday we were talking about pain and suffering. Pain would be there. So he's the experiencer. But he's not suffering. In the same way that enjoyer, he's not the enjoyer. He's just experiencing the qualities. He's not the enjoyer of it. And he's unattached. Just like when pain is there, there is no suffering for a sage.
Mm.
So he maintains his mental equanimity, whether it is too much of happiness or a very big loss or whatever.
So difficult to grasp this, isn't it? Because even when we are talking now, we are saying that Atman or Kshetrajna, somebody else, which it could be, it is actually me, isn't it?
Mm.
And I'm unable to even connect with that also. Like third person, I'm talking like a third person, that Brahman is a third person, like somewhere far off.
Correct. That is why it is said it is beyond logic, beyond intellect. The problem is we want to understand and grasp everything with this limited mind and intellect. But it is something that has to be contemplated upon, something to be not even become. I mean, words actually fail there. You can't say experienced, you can't say realized. You have to just remove that knowledge, that remove the veil of ignorance. That's it.
So until then, we are just a hypocrite saying that I am Brahman. I mean, do we really feel that, isn't it? We are. It's just a concept. Until then,
Yeah, but then
Hmm.
see, there is that vritti, no? We've learned that in Atma Bodh, where when you keep that vritti bhavana is there in your thing, aham brahmasmi, just like the Brahmara Kitavata, you go on contemplating, go on thinking about it. Satatam Kita, that's what Nana was mentioning. Matchitta matkata prana bodhayanta param. So that when you're constantly there, it is there in the back of your mind as that tambura, then you will start it. I think it will start unfolding itself. That's it.
And one more point, Ramaraji, is actually what Mrinalji is asking. I think that's the ahankara, that I thought. That I is the small I. And the big I is the Atma. That is untainted, right? That doesn't have any attributes or any qualities or nothing. It's the substratum of everything. But all that we are currently experiencing and all is at the ahankara level only. That is what is happy, that is what is sad. It's that I thought. When we say I am sad, it's that is the level of existence which is experiencing it. It's again a thought only, right? So all that in the world that's happening is at the level of this ahankara, or what you call ego. It's only when you transcend that, then the experience of the real I starts to happen. It's the tough nut to crack. That's why they say, in the 7 levels of existence, just it's the last 6th one, right? And then there is the Atma. That one, and our whole journey is transcending from this gross to the subtlest. And this ahankara is also the subtle one, very close to the Atma. It's just the matter of getting over that. That's the thought which is restricting us from really experiencing the Atma. Not experience, okay, it may not be the right word, saying to abide in that self. Ahankara is what stops. All that we feel it's now that it's a concept is because of the Ahankara.
And I
But
think,
over time.
yeah, and I think that bhaya is there, no? We talk of raga, dvesha, bhaya, vimuktaha. You need to let go of your raga, dvesha, and bhaya. The bhaya, I think, is about letting go of this ahankara. Because all our lives we have identified ourselves with that. So it is a little fearful. You want to let go of it. I think there is that fear element that comes in, which which makes us hold on to it. We don't want to let go of that.
Yeah, and that is the level of existence which is the subtlest and has the maximum reflection of the so-called light, jyoti of the Atma. So it so happens that it projects itself as the self. It's projecting itself. So we end up thinking, yeah, that's the self. No, that's just a reflection of the self. Right? So that's where that has to somehow slowly with jnana, it will become like Gurudev says, no, the iron curtain of that ego will start to melt at some point.
It's so
Then,
beautiful, Jayji. What you've sorry, I'm yeah, go ahead. I will
no,
just
please,
share.
please. No,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. Finish, complete what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's where many of us will get even to that level, but there uh, is where people get stuck, majority. And if you can go beyond that, then that's it, game over.
You know what you've shared is so beautiful. I seem to have understood that Chetana that Bhagwan has included in the Kshetram. What was that? I think verse number 6 or 7, where he says the cognition is also part of the Kshetram. So what you've just now said, explained about the ego sense, that it is a reflection of Brahma, and it is with that you're able to actually cognize. So that Chetana, it's also is part of the Kshetram. So you have to go beyond that. You've explained it very nicely, very beautiful.
Yes, it is so clear now. Very nice. Thank you, Vijayji. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
No, as Nanaji said, I attended towards the end only. Like these things have to become a part of our life, this knowledge. Then things will start revealing itself. Towards the end, I came at around 2025. So I heard Nanaji mentioning about how all this knowledge, we have to make it a part of our day-to-day life. Then things will start to unfold and you will start realizing it. But that's where, someone mentioned, yes, we are in this world, we have to conduct our day-to-day this, but how much of our what should I say, time, thoughts, everything is going in the world, and how much is it in God or self or whatever. If we get caught up in the world, then it will take more time. But constantly while dealing in the world also, if you are, Brahmaraji mentioned like a tanpura, this is constantly there. Yes, I am just dealing, but ultimately I know all this is some drama happening. That constant remembrance or constant awareness of that fact will eventually take us there.
You know, yesterday I was reflecting upon this, and I just wanted to share that we've been, I mean, I'm talking of myself. I have been exposed to a lot of this knowledge and everything. But for me, a big revelation is the study of the Bhagavad Gita, study of the Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, and this journey that we've started a couple of months ago. It is actually kind of streamlining the whole thing. Earlier, there was knowledge, there was, there were some concepts here and there, you read, you listen, but all that I find is getting streamlined into some, that organization is happening, wherein you can put in. I always had this doubt. I said, Gurudev, you've given us so much. Now, as a mumukshu, what do we follow? There are homas, there is knowledge, there is sadhana, everything is there. At one point, I was like in a state of confusion. I said, my end goal is for me to realize what my true nature is. In doing that, what is it that I follow? What is the roadmap for me? So now, I mean, over the last 3 months and yesterday, it kind of became even more clear. The roadmap is nicely getting formed, where the signposts are there, and uh, what we have to follow is a path of karma yoga right now. Along with karma yoga, the karma yogi is not just doing his karma and with the attitude of karma yoga. He's also pursuing knowledge. So I just wanted to share this little clarity dawning in.
Very beautiful sharing, Maharaj. It's actually happening to all of us more or less.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sadhana seva satsang, I don't know how many years. Just like really, the pearls were there, but now slowly we are putting them into the string, kind of. Very slow process, but it has started. Here, I want to mention one or two things. What has helped me, see, it's very easy to say like a tambura, it should be in the background all the time. But at least when we get up and when we go to sleep, those two sandhis or those two times, if we make it a habit to really be with that, develop some your own whichever suits you. Like for me, that prathasmarami rudisans Atma tattvam thing works for me. So those sandhis, if we try to focus more on, no, it really makes the things much more easier throughout the day.
Completely
This is
agree.
just my personal sharing.
Yeah, very right. As soon as you wake up, if you're able to sit and revel in that those verses,
And
that
there's
and also after our advanced course, that is what Gurudev also
What
says.
what verse is that? I didn't get that. Say that again.
That's a shloka.
Uh-huh.
Pratasmarami hridi spuradatma tattvam
Sanspurat Atma tattvam
Satchit
Satchit
Sukham. Yeah, go ahead,
Sukham
sing.
Is it some
Paramahansa
different
Tattvam.
sastra that you're talking about? Not in the Gita, right?
I will post it in the
Gita?
group. I will post
Yeah.
it in the
does
group.
anyone does anyone have sung by Guruji? Because Guruji has sung this and so beautiful when to listen
Ashtavakra
to it.
Gita he has mentioned it.
He has? Okay. Because I was attending morning sadhana with the German group, and that time they used to play first thing in the morning, and it would set up the mood for the sadhana.
Can you find it out from someone? I don't have that. Gurudev's.
Uh-huh.
Check it out. You can, in the meantime, you post what you have so that
Yes,
at least the shlokas are there.
You
And
can
then,
post the lyrics that we find out.
yeah, lyrics, and
Something.
actually YouTube, you can listen to it.
Yeah,
It's a
that's what I'm thinking. At least if you put the heading, I can find it in YouTube or somewhere. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know what that was.
It was, I think, it's composed by Adi Shankaracharya.
Yes.
Most of these hymns have been composed by him.
And even if all three, if you cannot, this thing, at least start with the first stanza, this fourth line. That is more than enough to start with. And then slowly you can add up the second one and the third one. The first one itself is so powerful, and it really, because Shankaracharya's this thing, no? So the word has that energy and power into it to really, it really helps us on the path of knowledge.
Even just chanting Om, of course, doing this, listening to this hymn is very, very beautiful. But even simple Om, when we chant, even before we go to bed and the moment we wake up, itself is very powerful. And this is what we teach in Little Angels, Art Excel, and all that. And so beautiful, these children are being exposed to such profound wisdom right from their very young age. It is said, no, that the last thought that a person has when he's leaving his body, Antya Kale Chamameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. So that is the first thing that they are actually they're born with. So this happens, this is true every night, the night when we sleep. If we're going with this, and Om is a syllable, the word which is closest to the Shabda, which is closest to Brahma. So, and they wake up also with that. And it has been the experience. There have been kids who've had a lot of nightmares, wake up frequently in the night. That just this little practice has taken care of that. So it is nice, very nice to do this practice both before sleeping and upon waking up.
I
So I
happened to listen to the Guruji's video, Death and Beyond. In that, he has mentioned the shloka about Chaitanya and Dhriti, that Sukha Dukkam, Chaitanya, Dhriti. He just had mentioned with some context. Maybe Brahmaraji, you can listen to that if you have not.
Yeah, okay.
This is the Jeev Bhav, no? The attributes of Jeev Bhav.
Yeah. Yesterday I happened to listen to it.
You were listening to what?
Death and Beyond.
Death and Beyond. Okay.
Guruji's question answers. Very nice. It is very, very clear.
You can post it in the group, Mrinal.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. So what I wanted to read, I've been wanting to ask Nana what this Pratyagatma is. Pratyagatma, I guess, is the Atma which is there in the Jiva. So I will just read this paragraph again about the samsari and the deha and this one. So does Pratyagatma join with Paramatma? If it is maintained that the Atma of the Jiva is Pratyagatma and of Ishvara Paramatma, that is not so either. The I of the Jiva is Paramatma. The notion of being bound is centered on this one I. It does not belong to Anatma because that is inert, Jadatva. The body does not tell you, I am a samsari. Please take me to a Swami. It does not know anything. Deho na janati. Neither is Atma a samsari because it has no birth or death. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit. A samsari is something in between, a product of Atma, Anatma, Aviveka. If you say that by Ishvara's grace you gain knowledge, that is perfect. We do not discount Ishvara's grace, but we must be very clear about what that grace can do. Through knowledge alone is freedom. A combination of karma yoga and meditation can win Ishvara's grace to create the condition for jnana, which is moksha. A combination of karma yoga and meditation can win Ishvara's grace to create the condition for jnana, which is moksha. The Antakarana Naischalya gained by meditation and the Antakarana Shuddhi gained by karma yoga make one qualified for jnana. A vague jnana becomes very clear. Ishvara cannot give moksha directly because Ishvara is the swarupa of the person. He can only give jnana and he need not assume a special form to do that. Any teacher who knows this is as good as Ishvara. What Ishvara can give is an opportunity for knowing. It is the adrishta karma phala of your prayers. That gives you a situation free from obstructions and thereby you gain the jnana. It is like that.
Yeah, excuse me, Dee, could you read this para again, please?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. The Antahkarana Naischalya gained by meditation and the Antahkarana Shuddhi gained by karma yoga make one qualified for jnana. A vague jnana becomes very clear. Ishvara cannot give moksha directly because Ishvara is the swarupa of the person. He can only give jnana and he need not assume a special form to do that. Can someone explain these two lines? Ishvara cannot give moksha directly because Ishvara is the swarupa of the person. He can only give jnana and he need not assume a special form. Yeah.
Maybe it is beyond the name and form, no? And it has to be a aparokshanubhuti.
Yeah, because here in the previous chapter, para, he said a combination of karma yoga and meditation can win Ishvara's grace to create the condition for jnana, which is moksha. So he's equated jnana to moksha there. But here he's saying cannot give moksha directly because Ishvara is the swarupa of the person. He can only give jnana.
That is the
No, it's
Atma
basic.
Tattva, no?
Essentially, what I think Swamiji is saying is there is, look, Ishvara at the end is the same, right? It's the self. Eventually, that's where it will lead to, right? So you can't say Ishvara will give you moksha because there is nothing like giving it to someone, or it's you yourself realizing that you are that. You are the Ishvara. At the level of the self, when you look at it, you are the same. There is no difference between you and God. The real you. I'm not talking about the you that we all identify with.
Yeah.
So that is
Here
the same.
I remember, Gurudev, somebody was asking the question
Yeah.
in writing that can this
Are you God?
Sudarshan Kriya...
Are you God or something, right? He asks
No,
something.
can this Sudarshan Kriya give me the liberation? Gurudev straight away said no. And then everybody started looking at him. He said, it will prepare you completely for the moksha, but end point it is, you need to, I don't know, the self has to realize the Paramatma Tattva, Paramatma, the all-pervading thing.
Yeah,
Means
there's one more
that
question.
identity with Chetana also has to be immersed into that infinity.
Yeah. So somebody asked Gurudev once, no, are you God? He said, yes. And so are you. Ultimately, that's what it is, right? The Advaita is all about you realizing that you are no different from God. That's where Swamiji just now mentioned, no, the Ishvara is your Swarupa. That's what you are. So who is going to give what to whom?
Yeah. So moksha does not come without jnana. That is what he's meaning here. So he can only give jnana, and he need not assume a special form to do that. So it is not someone apart from you. It is you yourself.
Yeah, but he says it's creating the condition for jnana, which is
Correct.
moksha.
Yes,
Correct.
those
Basically, he gives.
prayer
You
will
have to do
help
everything,
you.
all the work before you. I mean, the grace is there, but then you need to do the work in terms of that.
They say the self is longing to, I think this is Rishi Vidyadharji says this beautifully. It's longing to meet you.
Itself.
Okay. The self, Paramatma is waiting to merge or realize that Jivatma, Paramatma is the same, right? That longing is there. So it will create conducive situations for you to get the jnana progress. It's not partial. Impartially, it's available to everyone. And then, yes, those who pursue it and take that as the path, it will make situations, it will make everything ready for you. And Rishiji used to play one beautiful song. I forgot now, Piya Agar Aayenge, something like that, where he says it's so waiting for you to realize that. In the advanced course I've done with him, when you're in that real state of total bliss, he plays this song and you will feel that oneness happening. Almost everyone will be in total tears. You will realize, oh, this is something totally out of the world experience. So that for those moments, you will feel that real merging which we are talking, and eventually what has to happen. In those moments, it will happen. But yeah, for us, it's momentary. After that goes. But during that time, you will feel that oneness, total oneness.
You know, this Yeshwara also, it says that, remember when we were reading in the beginning, the Yeshwara is the form of Paramatma that controls the world, the Jagat, right? So then when he says Yeshwara is the Swarupa of the person, probably that's again in the Mithya world, maybe, you know, that part of the Jagat. So you really have to realize the Brahma that is a little different. It's like that's what I understand from it.
Yeah. It just occurred to me that Ishvara is nothing but we are nothing but Ishvara. We are the Swarupa. We are Ishvara. But as Karma Yogis, it is as though we are praying to ourselves, as though we are, kind of, although we, as a Karma Yogi, you're supposed to have this thing, Ishvaratmana Buddhi and all that. In a subtle, very, very subtly, when you look at it, you're actually offering everything to yourself, that the higher self that you are, the big I or the transformed ego. Yeah.
Exactly, this is what I was feeling.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we never say it is that Brahman, it is that Atma. We never feel that it is me. We always been talking about as if it is a third thing. And
Right.
as Vijayji just said, it is because of that ahankara, ego. Yes. I was just thinking, it is the same person, it is the same I. It's like my eyes are closed and I'm just opening it. It's just like that. That realization could be just like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just me.
Achurena
It's just I have closed my eyes and I have not been able to see it, and I have just opened it.
It's beautiful. This is how I feel in Rudra Puja and all that, when Gurudev, he takes those flowers and he actually puts the flowers on his head. You know, the feeling I get is like you are worshipping the I within you. You're worshipping that Ishvara within you. And that is what everybody should be doing. And um, so what Ishvara can give is an opportunity for knowing. It is the Adrishta Karma Phala of your prayers. That gives you a situation free from obstructions, and thereby you gain the jnana. By living a life of karma yoga, which is an expression of bhakti, one gathers a lot of punya, which brings the anugraha, grace of Ishvara. So, Mrinal, all our endeavors, all our sadhana, the mumukshutvam that we are, we are in, is like opening the eyes, that attempt to open the eyes. So once eyes are open, you see the truth.
Yeah.
Is moksha removal of dukkhas by Lord's grace? We did this yesterday, but I will go through this again. Accepting that moksha is not created, but is already accomplished. Perhaps we can say that the grace of Ishvara destroys dukkha. Moksha, after all, is freedom from the undesirable. And any form of pain is undesirable. This is also invalid. If you are inherently imperfect, Ishvara has to rid you of that imperfection and give you some beatitude. Your suffering is removed because of Ishvara's grace. But Atma is already Ananda Swarupa. Does the destruction of sorrow take place in Anatma or in Atma? If the nature of Atma is dukkha, how are you going to destroy that without destroying Atma? If dukkha is not the swarupa of Atma, there is no sorrow there to destroy. Atma is Ananda. You cannot say that because of its association with the mind, etc., Atma becomes dukhi. If it is asanga, how can it ever be attached to anything, much less gather anything to itself? So, to say that the grace of Ishvara destroys dukkha is also without foundation. Ishvara Anugraha is meant for jnana. That is what is established here. So, because dukkha is associated with the anatma and not with atma, and Ishvara's grace is meant for jnana, not removal of dukkha, not destroying dukkha. Because we've had a lot of experience sharing that, saying, the grace, because of Gurudev's grace, all the pain went away, this and that. So this is actually fine-tuning that. It is not so much a removal of dukkha, but meant for jnana. Once that jnana is there, that pain does not become suffering, it becomes optional. And the suffering becomes optional, because then, because of that knowledge, you are relieved of that thing. It is not removal of pain.
Another point is we have exceeded time, I think, no? Okay, maybe tomorrow.
We'll do about 8 minutes, Vijayji. We'll stay on 8 minutes more.
Okay. So one more thing which I've heard and seems to make sense is every karma we do we will get in return some karma phala, right? This karma phala can be either punya or papa, depending on what that karma was, right? If it was something done for betterment of, which is selfless, that's more which gets you more and more punya. Then in your life, moments of happiness, joy, peace, all that you experience in your life are essentially the result of the punya that has been accumulated. And all sorrows, miseries that we face, challenges that we face in our life, is because of the papa that is accumulated. We sometimes feel that the karma we have done is what is resulting in that feeling happy or feeling good. Actually, that's may not be the real reason. We find many people who probably may not be doing great things, but seem to be having a good life, right? So maybe not this lifetime, even from previous lifetimes, they have accumulated a lot of punya, which they are now reaping. It will exhaust at some point, that will go down, and then whatever karmas you have done now has now deposited whatever papa in your account, which will surface, if not this lifetime, some other lifetime, it will come. So everything is your account, which you will draw into. So we are able to here come and be a part of this satsanga, listen to Nanaji, Brahmaraji, and all this. Maybe some punya we have accumulated because of our sadhana, because of whatever satsang, being in Gurudev's company. All that is what has fructified now. Isn't it? If you really look at it, that's where I'm sure in the group we have maybe 100 plus people, but how many people are attending here? 10, 15 people, right? Why? They all had access to the same information, same messages. Ramaraji is informing everyone, sharing everything that is there, but few of us got drawn to it. That is because of our account of punya that is there. And yesterday also somebody was sharing some teacher suffering, or not suffering, but going through some pain in life. But he is able to go through it. Yes, one is grace, but grace is also what? It is the punya that he has accumulated by taking those large courses, by being of service to mankind. That has accumulated his punya to such an extent that he is able to tide over those challenging times with that strength. So it's all, every action is resulting in a papa and punya. And that is what comes as joy, bliss, knowledge. All that is because of that account that is created. Does it make sense?
Yes, yes,
Yes, very much.
completely.
Very much.
Good, Vijayji, it's really good. Actually, that's what it is, like the happiness is within you, So, I mean, part of it, like you said, the Papa and Punya, the more, I think Mrinal, somebody mentioned that one time, that when we suffer from pain and all that, it's whatever the Papa that you're suffer, clearing it up with this Janma or whatever. That's what I understood. But then it is, definitely this knowledge, this class, I really want to say, I mean, whatever I went through for the last few months, it kept me like in a steady state. I wasn't really perturbed too much, with whatever it was going on, or even when somebody's asked me for advice and suggestions. It does help you to kind of center yourself, even if you're going off somewhere. Yeah, you have to come back, and that kind of knowledge, it feels like we are growing, with this kind of knowledge. That's what I feel. And I don't know how far we are from that reaching Brahman, but I'm definitely we are going in that path. Thank you so much sharing all that.
And Vijayji, as you said, we enjoy the fruits of our action, pain or pleasure. Here, when we are going through the pain, we have that free will whether to suffer or not suffer. I think that is at least in our hand.
Yeah, but that is also a strength which allows you to look at it not as a suffering, right? It's a
That is the
quality.
Ishvaranugraha, no?
Yeah,
This the
that is
Ishvaranugraha is meant for jnana, and that jnana is what relieves you of that pain. Relieves you of the suffering. Pain is there, but it is not meant for destroying your dukkha. It is only meant to create that space and situation for jnana so that you relieve yourself of suffering. So it's seemingly like it is removing your dukkha, but it actually is bringing you to your awareness of yourself. That all the pratibandhakas are getting removed, all the obstructions to knowledge are getting removed, and you are with that your Atma Swarupa. So you're more and more aware of your true nature, and therefore you don't suffer as much.
Yeah, and that also is coming because of your credit into your account of all the punyas you're doing will help you to come to a state where even if there is pain, you have the strength to go through it without getting totally sucked into that, right?
Correct.
So that is where all the practices that we do is depositing something into our account every day. That's why Gurudev says, no, keep doing your sadhana. Because that's what will give you the antakarna shuddhi. It will give you the strength to face situation. All situations will come. There is nothing that can be avoided. Like yesterday we mentioned, there is no, God doesn't have free will. He cannot take away anything from what you're destined to go through. He cannot take it away.
Yeah.
But he can give you the strength by the actions that you're doing now. He's depositing some punya into the account, which will help you to tide over it.
That's so true. Right now, in my condition, right now, I'm not that well. I'm lying down on my bed and listening to all of this knowledge.
So Mrinalji, many people maybe in your situation would probably not be able to do that, right? But you're able to do that is, yes, the merits that you have gathered over this life and lifetimes. So that's what every action that we do, if we are very conscious about it, knowing that, okay, this is getting credited into my which account? Punya account, Papa account.
But I think we have to go even beyond this, isn't it?
Yeah,
Vijayji?
eventually, yes, that is.
But our action, because I'm going to get, you're doing it. That is why the karma yoga attitude is important.
Yeah, it's spontaneously we are doing it, not for the papa or punya.
Correct.
Yeah, but Brahmaraji, the fact that the reason for consciously being aware of that is that if it is more, your credit is more, then obviously you will be pushed by this unknown force towards your ultimate goal. It will create situations to push you there.
Agree, but then we should not be, our actions should not be guided by whether we are getting punya or papa. Then we are again limiting ourselves. Our actions should be guided by what is dharma and adharma. That is one. Second, and what is to be done. It is not again guided by raga and dvesha. Third, it is you have to do it with an attitude of karma yoga, wherein you do what is to be done as an offering to the divine, like a yajna, and take whatever result comes. So then there is no your see, when you are focused on papa and punya, somewhere you are
no, actually it's not focusing on that. I'm saying the adrishta phala is actually doing that in the background. You don't have to
that
think
is
of
no doubt. No
Yeah.
doubt it is that. Of course, yes. No doubt about that.
So it's not like you have to think whether it's papa. No, that is happening. That's a background process. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
But
that is
if our,
inevitable.
if our choice of everything that we do, that is in our hands, right? That you do it, and that the adrashta phala of that is something which that cosmic power is deciding which account to put it into. You don't have to really think about that. That's not in
Right.
your hands anyways.
Right.
But then all that your progress on the path and where, how fast, how you're going, all depends on that
This is
account which is there.
correct. This is the patritva, no? That is what Gurudev says. He says there is someone who asked him a question. How come everybody comes to you, but how come only some seem to get blessings? Then he says, improve your patritva, your capacity. If you're coming with a small spoon, you get only a spoonful of whatever. But if you come with a huge bucket, or the more your patritva is, and that patritva, that eligibility is your is what you have mentioned, all the punya karmas, all the sadhana that we do, the more and more um, karma yoga you do. That is the whole thing. I think the more a karma yogi is, the deeper a karma yogi you are, the better your patritva. And that with that patritva, the jnana, there's a situation for jnana to unfold, to happen.
Correct, correct, correct. Underline these words.
So there are situations that can produce a particular vritti, because of which there can be sukha. This is what all these vrittis, that aham brahmasmi, tattvamasi, ayam atma brahma, all those vrittis, they can produce sukha. There can be sukha. Whereas, but dukkha is purely born of aviveka. Provisionally, we can accept it as a property of the mind, manodharma, but it does not belong to Atma. Yeah, I think we'll stop here. The term that I wanted to say yesterday, that it's called the Purvashrama. Swami, what is his name? Ganapati Sachidananda. I was talking to you about the documentary I watched about him some time ago. They don't identify themselves as I, me. They say this body, and they say in the Purvashrama, that is before he became whatever, a sannyasi or so, he says in the Purvashrama, this body was there. This body was born to this in the Purvashrama. So, that caught my attention, as to even in their speech, they do not bring in this I. That is also it's a sadhana wherein you drop that I, that small I that is there.
That's so wonderful practice to get our indriyas accustomed to that jnana.
Yeah. No, that's a
I
little.
have a question for you. I know you're doing a lot in terms of posting all these things, but the videos that we are doing now, it doesn't say which date or what verses. Like, sometimes like I try to go back and review it. So
I honestly, yeah, correct. I confess, I've not
I'm
been
sorry
doing
to
it.
ask you that, but I didn't know how to do that myself unless we
No.
read it.
As of now, Dr. Mara, they're all in line. I mean, they're according to the date, because they're directly on YouTube. So, of course, I have not been numbering the shlokas. I have that homework to do. I have a lot of backlog. In fact, I think more than a month's videos are to be done. I will do that in due course. And maybe from now on, as in when we finish, I will just put up the shlokas. Then it doesn't add on to a backlog. But it's a point that you brought in. It is good. If someone has to revisit the videos, they'll be lost.
Sorry. I try to look up this 13th chapter. To me, this 13th chapter is kind of difficult to understand. So I want to do the tape.
But I've been numbering the chapter. I have numbered. It is only the shlokas I have not numbered.
And date.
Hariom, just a note,
And date
Mara,
also. Date
there
also.
are videos recently uploaded. There is a choice. If you click that, no, in Dr. Brahmaraj's YouTube account, when you go, you can homepage, and you the videos recently uploaded, you will find the recent chapters.
Yeah, I know. I see that, but I just wanted to. I will go by like 1 day ago or 3 days ago.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
it
looking at
says
that.
only that. Doesn't give
Yeah.
the date.
yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes the one I don't normally see the one from today like right away on the next day. So that's it comes
Is it?
after a day or so like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I'm able to access that. In
Yeah,
fact,
many times it happens. Like even I cannot access the recently added ones, but after some time I go back and then see it would be there. I don't know. Maybe it takes some time to. I don't know how it happens, but even I cannot access the
Yeah, it
recently
happens
added.
with me also. Sometimes you
Mm.
don't get access, but after some time you get
After
access.
some time says, yeah.
oh, I don't know this.
Mm.
And I don't know whether there's
That's why
any.
someone keeps putting in the group, right?
Yeah,
Today's session and all. Maybe that person also might be having the same problem.
yeah.
Sometimes
Same day we
immediately,
cannot access.
sometimes immediately we can access it. Sometimes it doesn't get uploaded so quickly.
I'm able to access, and I think, I don't know, Vijayji, are you able to access it the same day? Because you seem to be
No.
post.
I also can't access it same day.
Oh, okay.
I can access the same day.
You know, some
I
days,
don't
you
know.
know, for what happened.
Maybe
that
Adrishta, I'm just joking, okay? Don't take it seriously. Maybe it's Adrishta Phala.
Not ready. Not ready still.
No, I just wanted to.
It's in a lighter vein. Please don't take it seriously. I think there's some technical issue there. I can't
Yeah.
It will be available. Okay, it might take a few minutes to process it after the meeting is over. But same day you will get it. Like yesterday, somebody asked in the afternoon, I posted.
Yeah, that's what he's able. Vijayji is able to access the videos
Yeah,
because
it's all
very
there.
often he posts the links.
Yeah, I actually able to do the channel and everything correctly, and I do see it. I just wanted to bring that up because you know, you may like if I join like few minutes later, I just want to catch that part, so I don't have to be the whole video like that. In that case, you know, I'd like to know what the verses are in that particular one. It'd be kind of little easier, you know, sometimes. Yeah.
I know. I agree. I will.
We need to hear Nanaji again and again. एक बार में नहीं होता है. We need to go through Nanaji's this thing again and again.
Yeah, we definitely need to go through it, but sometimes when you don't have time, because you can't go further if you don't understand something, right? For me, I probably have to review the whole 13th chapter because we still have this question with the Nayam and the Jnana and the Kshetra. I mean, even though you think you understand, but you still leave a question about that. Anyway, that's fine. Thank you.
These sessions should not end only अच्छा दिन यही करके बैठो. So nice.
Very true. We love to be in
What
this
we're
Manana.
doing right now is that shloka in chapter 10 or thing where Machitta Madgata Pranaha Bodhayanta Param. And we're doing what we're doing now is Katayantascha Mam Nityam. So we're reveling and what is that? Tushyanti cha Ramanti cha. We are reveling it. That is why we don't want to let go of this. But then we have our other swakarma to do. So we have to let go. We can't continue this. So I think we will have to say that's
just last thing, we have to have the roadmap, right? Whenever we have time, we can.
Brahmaraji, I just wanted to show them maybe where they are looking for. I don't know. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah. Suddenly I was wondering what is happening to my screen.
So look, this is being live streamed. What happened earlier is already there. This is already uploaded. The 12th, 13th chapter of today. It's already there, and the home
Yeah, that's
study
it. This is
Manana is
Manana.
now.
The 12 and 13 is a Manana session. Because when with the Nanas, only 13, I think.
I think
every day.
laptop you don't get these problems. It's only on the phone you get.
Oh,
these
phone.
problems.
Okay, phone may have something different.
Yeah.
No, I see this one clearly like that only, but and 13, I think that's a Manana session. So I don't separate later on, or it's in the same tape.
No, Dr. Mara, I'm recording it in two separate things.
Oh.
Nana session is, I've mentioned clearly, it is Bhagavad Gita with C.J. Rao, and I mentioned the chapter. And then there is a separate YouTube for the Manana. Because ultimately the whole idea is to compile all of this together, Nana's things together, or all the 18 chapters are done. So keep them as a separate sect.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I look at it under the playlist. I mean, that's really nice, classified into those 3 sections. But the previous one only has up to 7 or 8 chapters, I think. So, no?
Right. I used to do that almost daily, but I think of late I have, ever since we've been doing it on YouTube.
Live tube, right?
Yeah. Another thing before we close, because we're talking about this now, from 23rd onwards till I think 5th of October, I will not be available. But in order for us to continue the sessions uninterrupted, we will need someone to come forward and take the lead. Suma, I know, is also traveling. She's also coming to the ashram. Anyone else is willing to take it forward, or are all of you going to be busy with Navratri? If we know that, then accordingly, Nana said he's all right to continue. He's also all right to take a break, to give a break. So based on the consensus, we can then go ahead.
Yeah, I'll be traveling as well, but
You'll be traveling.
It will be a little bit hard to do that.
Yeah, Mrinal, what about you? Would you be available?
Brahma, I think I might also be traveling.
Oh, you might travel. Okay.
I'm not very sure about it, but thinking of,
So then, in that case, should we give a break for those 9-10 days or so?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
We all be back, and I mean, I will be still out, but I can join from India. That's it.
Yeah.
I think break will be better because so many people are traveling. They may not be able to access. And,
right. Okay. Fine. So I will let, we'll then give a winter break, Navratri break. And then we'll come back. We'll meet up tomorrow.
That will be from 23rd to October 5th.
Yeah, October 22nd, I'll be there. 23rd onwards, 23rd up until 6th, I'll be back again. Maybe till the 6th.
It's September 23rd, not October. October is Diwali.
No, I know. I'm talking of September. Did I say October? I don't know. September 23rd up until 6th of October.
Right.
From 7th onwards, we'll restart.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah.
All right.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.